Hello everyone, welcome to our channel Clinical SAS and R Programming Comparison. Today we are going to discuss Proc procedure in Clinical SAS as well as how it will work in R Programming. We'll discuss today. Proc procedures. So in SAS programming, Proc procedures here Proc means procedure. If you want print any data set in SAS programming, we will write code proc print data is equal to dataset name. If you write this code and execute, will print the dataset name, dataset data. The same thing if you want to print the dataset in our programming, we have to write print dataset name. So here proc content data is equal to dataset name. If you run this programming, we'll get about the dataset like what are the variables, how many variables, how many observations, what are the types of variables like character variables, numeric variables. So all information about dataset we'll get it with this code. The same thing if you want to do in R programming, we can write str dataset name. So if you want to delete in datasets in temporary library or permanent library, we want to write code in this way. Proc datasets lib equal to work nothing but library. Kill run. If you run, it will delete the all datasets. The same way R programming also, if you want to delete all dataset, you need to write code in this way. If RM means remove dataset means that particular dataset only it's going to remove. If you want to remove complete dataset, you want to write code like this way. RM list is equal to ls in this. If you write and run the in R programming, it will delete the all datasets. So here proc import, proc export already we are discussed before. The same thing, if you want to do same export and import, we have to write read data table, write data table. So in SAS programming, we can see by using proc SQL, so we will write several codes. So based on our requirement, right? The same way R programming also, we can write proc SQL queries. But before if you want to do SQL queries, we need to install the library SQLDF. This library we need to install in our R programming. So here advantage is in SQLDF, it's not a case sensitive. So whatever we are writing in SAS programming, right, proc SQL queries like union, intersect, except operators, outer joins, left joins in this way. So even inner join, left join, this and all will be there, right? So even SAS programming also we are using and we are writing using proc SQL. Same thing in R programming also we can write similar codes by using SQLDF library. Okay. Here proc transpose. So in SAS programming, to convert columns into rows or rows into column, we will write proc transpose code, right? So here proc transpose data is equal to data set name. Then run means it will whatever numeric variable is there, right? All it's going to by default it will transpose. So but before transpose you need to sort the data, otherwise you will get error. Okay. So this is the code proc transport data is equal to data set name, out is equal to new data set name. NDSN means new data set name. If you not written out, then their output will be like data set one 2. In that way it will come. Okay. Here under name is equal to x. Just this here underscore name underscore is the default variable. So if you want to change that variable name, we can write in this way. Here where statement and hide statement, two options will be there. If you write var and if you write like pet1 dataset name, population dataset name. So particular this variable only observations only it going to transpose. Here id pet, sorry here by mistake I written same variables. So if you write other variable, that variable value is going to convert a, like column names. Okay. If you want some particular variables, if you don't want to transpose, so you need to use by statement. If you use the by statement and if you mention that variable names, that variable values, it won't transpose. It will be as such only. Okay, if you want to do same thing in R programming, so first we need to in invoke the data.table library. So if you run the invoke the data.table library, then we can transpose by using dcast. Okay, the same way melt option also is there. Okay, so this also belongs to data.table. So if you want to do transfer the data in our programming, we have two options. One is dcast option and melt options. Okay, so if you want to do other options also is there without any library, that is reshape. So here no any library is not required. Here pivot longer and pivot wider also we can do transpose like how we done in a SAS program, right? The same way we can do pivot longer and pivot wider by using TDYR library and DPLR library. So here before we are discussing Proc means and Proc summary, we'll discuss about statics. So in clinical SAS, there is a five types of statistics will do. That is, one is categorical data statics, continuous data statics, correlation statics, regression statics, logical statics. Okay. So for categorical data, we will do descriptive statics and inferential statics. For continuous data also, we'll do descriptive statics and inferential statics. For correlation data, we will use for proc core method to do the statics. For regression data, we'll use for proc regression method. For logical data, we'll use for proc logic method. So here, what is the difference between categorical data and continuous data means? For categorical data represent groups or categories like gender, male or female, race, Asian, white, black, like that groups will be there in categorical data. For in continuous data, it represent numeric values like age in years, weight, height, lab values, blood pressure, like that. Okay. So for categorical data, descriptive statistics will use for frog freak method. For inferential statistics, we'll use for frog freak with options. So with options like frequencies, percentage, chi-square, Fisher test, and CMH method. For descriptive statistics, here mostly n and percentage. This only will get it from descriptive statistics by using frog freak. So for continuous data for descriptive statistics, we'll use for proc means and proc summary. Okay, like n mean, minimum, max, median, standard deviation, like that descriptive statistics will get. For inferential statistics means we'll use for proc test method, proc ANOVA method, proc GLM, like these methods we'll use. Okay, here proc means and proc summary. So proc means and proc summary both are will get same output. So only difference is, so proc means by default it will print the output in output window. So if same thing if you want to do in proc summary means we have to use here print option. Okay. So if you run this program either proc summary or proc means for numeric variable by default will get the n mean median except median will get the all descriptive statistics by default. So here by default statistics is n min max mean standard deviation for proc summary and proc means directly. So if you not mention anything by default for all numeric variables you will get the by default descriptive statistics. So if you want particular variable only you need descriptive statistics means we have to mention here where statement. So here I written code proc means data is equal to this is a data set name no print. If you keep no print, it will not print the in output window. So here I mentioned where equal to where statement here RBC cholesterol. This is the two variables. Okay. Now we need only these two variables descriptive statics. Here I mentioned output out equal to new data set name, right? So here, if you write mean equal to n miss equal to median equal to slash autonomous slash automatically it will take the automatic names for like RBC underscore mean, RBC underscore n, RBC underscore n miss. In this way, it will take auto names. Otherwise, you can give manually whatever the names you can give like mean average underscore mean n num underscore n miss underscore. So whatever you want you can write here names. Okay, so either you can give auto names or any suitable name. Okay, the same thing you can use proc summary also same. So either proc summary or proc means here we can see class. So class what will do it will automatically sort the data and it will be stable. So here class means no need to write separate again like proc sort method. So if you mention class is equal class gender means for gender variable it will sort the data and you will get the descriptive statics. Okay. Same thing if you want to write R program means we can write in this way. Like first before if you want to write descriptive statistics means we have to invoke the dplvar library. Then we have to write the code in this way. Okay. So even data dot table in this method also we can write. So here two methods available. In SAS, how it will be like proc summary proc means right. The same way R programming also two methods available. This is the code and this is the code. So okay. So here output will use for to mention the new data set name. So here also underscore name underscore is the by default variable. So where statement will use for so which variable you want to get the descriptive statistics. Class what will do? It will sort the data. So no need to write again separately proc sort. So auto names already I told this auto names it will by default it will create the names. So print option for summary I told right. So if you want to print like proc means you have to use the print option. Here anyway it will group the data. So proc freak method. So already we discussed right that proc freak will use it for categorical data descriptive statistics. So for categorical data descriptive statistics by using proc freak means we'll get frequency and counts. So same thing If you want to do in R programming also, you can do by using dplwire method. So here count is the option. So same thing we can do by using table. So in SAS programming, how we'll write for to get the count and percentage? Proc freq data is equal to data set name, no print. Table is the statement. With this, we can use three-way tables, two-way tables. Like right here, table comma. This is one variable, this one variable, this three variable. Three-way tables also will get the descriptive statistics for all three variables. Okay. So same thing we can write in R programming in this way. Here three types of codings available in R programming. Okay. Now once you run the proc frames, we'll get the count and percentage. So here for to create the new data set name, we'll use for out statement. Here proc freq data is equal to bed. Out if you give means here we'll get the new data set name. So tables already we discussed, right? So with the tables only, we can using with the table statement we can create the three-way tables and two-way tables.